What's the biggest secret you're currently hiding? I'm a high school English teacher who's been secretly rewriting my struggling students' college application essays. Not entirely from scratch, but when a student hands me something that's a grammatical disaster or completely misses the mark, I review it overnight and return a heavily edited version. It started 3 years ago with Miguel, a brilliant student from a home where English wasn't spoken. His essay about immigrating at 7 was powerful, raw, and personal, but almost unreadable. His counselor had already told him to focus on sports scholarships instead. I remember staring at his draft after school, heart sinking. It wasn't just a messy essay. It was a story that mattered, buried under broken sentences. I couldn't stop thinking about how easily someone would read it and decide he wasn't college material. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept imagining his application getting tossed aside because his grammar didn't meet the standard. So I sat at my kitchen table and rewrote it. I didn't change the story. I kept his voice. I just helped it breathe, polished it, smoothed it out. I knew where the heart of his story was. I just helped the reader see it too. When he got accepted to Cornell on a full ride, I cried in my car. I told myself it was a one-time thing, a rare exception for a rare kid. But then came Jasmine. Dyslexia made writing feel like punishment. Her ideas were all there, but her words came out jumbled and frustrated. Then Trevor, whose single mom worked double shifts and barely had time to sleep, let alone help with college essays. His drafts were rushed, sometimes half-finished, and then another student, and another, and every time I told myself this was the last time. Each time I'd read their draft and see the real story buried under awkward phrasing and structural chaos. I'd promise myself I wouldn't rewrite it. I'd end up doing it anyway. Not because I didn't trust their voice, but because I knew the world wouldn't listen to that voice unless it spoke in the right dialect. I justify it by telling myself I'm not changing their truth. I'm not inventing anything. I'm translating. I'm rephrasing their reality into the language of college admissions, the language of essays judged by people who've never lived the kind of lives my students have. It feels like code switching on paper. I know it's wrong. I know I could lose my job. I've read enough professional ethics handbooks to know exactly what this would look like to a school board. But what haunts me more than getting caught is the idea of these kids who have clawed their way through every disadvantage, getting rejection letters that have nothing to do with who they are and everything to do with how they were taught to write. Most of my coworkers don't know. Maybe they suspect. Some have made vague comments about how well certain students suddenly write, but no one's asked directly, and I haven't offered the truth. The secret I keep from them isn't just that I'm helping, it's that I don't feel bad about it. Not really, because I've seen what happens when someone finally reads these kids the way they deserve to be read. And despite the risk, despite the guilt, I don't plan to stop.